I'm gonna tell you guys what happened. So I was walking down the street. Thank you. Yesterday, and I'm not gonna tell you where, but it wasn't in California, and it's in a state that like most people don't think about until they go there.
Utah.
It wasn't Utah. And
Idaho.
Are you guessing, bro? He said he's not going
New
to
Mexico.
say.
I feel like we need context to the story.
That was the loudest slurp I ever.
He went straight into the mic.
Do that into the mic, my guy?
You know, he went this way and then he just went right into the mic.
I'm not gonna turn the stage.
I'm here, man. So
Anyway.
I was walking down the street, and this guy in a tan Toyota minivan stops. Right, he's driving, but he stops. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna say a word that you guys may not like, but he pulls his window down and he goes, "Nigger!" And then just like tries to drive off super fast, but then is at a red light.
Oh man! So this dude wants to break social codes, but won't break the speed. He won't break no legal laws. Hey, I'll do a hate crime, but I ain't gonna run this red light.
You ever do something mean and then have to sit there and think about what you just did?
You do know the red light is just like a couple $100 ticket. What you just said to me is 5 years in jail. But it's okay. Keep going.
So I keep walking, and I hear him like giggling, but then I saw he's like, "Oh wait, that black guy is still right there." So I'm walking, trying to figure out like, does he have a gun? Because I had 90 things go through my brain. I was like, do I go over there and tell him I'm gonna pray for him? Do I go over there and tell him I'm gonna shoot him? Do I go over there and just punch him in the face? Do I steal his license plate? I didn't really know what to do. But the first thing that came in my head was like, if I get too close, some of these country bumpkin dudes, they just be having a rifle in there, and they could.
That's facts.
They could, let me not say the name, but the dude that was jogging, like they could just be like, yo, bah, out of nowhere. So I was like, I need to be real wise about what I do. But I was already not in the best mood in the world. So the fact that he said that to me, I really was like, bro, I will show you what that is.
Absolutely, man. You walking out of state? Like, dang. You went to visit somebody and they're making you walk down the street?
Now we parked and then we was walking to the establishment.
Okay. So this whole story, you kind of telling it like you
were
all
just
alone.
gonna take a stroll down the street.
We were walking towards
So you're not
an
alone in
establishment.
this situation.
No, I wasn't by myself.
He was trying to act like he was all the way alone.
No.
Stuff.
Ain't nothing hard here.
Here come the context.
Ain't nothing hard here. I didn't do anything hard. I ain't cool like that. But I was definitely when these kind of things happen, I feel like the world around you kind of melts away. Like I was in my own head. Like the other person was there, but it's funny because they're not black. So to them, they kind of like gave me an awkward smile, and was like, people who smile, who like giggle at funerals.
Like they're uncomfortable.
Yeah, like they're super uncomfortable and they don't know what to say.
It's just a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, exactly. So they were there and they were just like, and my stroll started slowing down because I really was a little bit like, is this person going to shoot me? And what should I do and all that? So I really wasn't so super paying attention to what they were doing. Especially I noticed that they were like side smiling, and so that red light was long as hell.
Dang.
Super long. Like I got to the point where the guy stopped giggling and was looking at me, and I could tell his face was like, I hope that guy does not have a gun. And in my head, I was like, I hope that guy does not have a gun. So it's I hope they don't have a gun showdown. And when that red light went off, it was like in slow motion. Typically, if I was him, I would have tried to peel off and go fast.
Right.
Yeah, but you know that this dude definitely abides by the speed limit, so he was looking both ways, creeping to make sure that there's. He wanted to make sure that there's no side, because it was probably, let's be honest, it was probably an unprotected turn. They don't have. We talking about rural in areas where they scream
an
this
unprotected turn.
It means it doesn't have the arrow.
It took me 3 times to get my license.
It means the one that doesn't have the arrow, it has the blinking light, so you have to wait for oncoming traffic to come to be able to. So
That boy passed that 10.
Yeah. We out here in these streets.
I ain't know not a thing.
Driving with no tickets.
We ain't had a ticket ever.
Right here.
Come on, bro. Of course I've had tickets.
I was about to say, damn, I would have loved you.
Of course I've had tickets, but
you whacked.
anyway, wow.
Just kidding. Okay, so when the light turned green, he kind of was looking at me, still stayed foot on the brake, and then slowly. And for a second there, I was like, I know I'm in a little country place, but I was like, I know I've seen some other black people around here. So I get to inside the restaurant, and this is the first thing that popped into my mind. I look at the menu, and you know what the menu said? Try
Whites
our
only?
world famous fried chicken and waffles.
For dessert, special watermelon.
I went to IKEA today too. I had it.
Yo, that's terrible. I'm sorry you had to go through that, Kelby.
And in my head, I was like, damn it, man, I really want to try this fried chicken.
It's the Dave Chappelle joke.
But
It's the Dave Chappelle joke.
they're going to know I'm black. So then I was like,
That was the dead giveaway. Once they see me order this, it's gonna be so obvious that I'm black.
Maybe I could fit in if I don't order this chicken.
Yeah.
Maybe they won't notice the pigmentation of my skin.
They'll guess I'm Dominican.
man, the inside of my head was racing because I was like, the rest of the stuff on this menu look kind of whack, but this fried chicken. And I'm looking around. I saw one black guy walk in, but guess what? His arm was broken. So I was like, damn it, the Toyota guy got the broken arm. Black guy. He definitely had a gun. Oh, no. So I was a little bit worried there. There was another black guy there. His arm was broken. The guy's, so what do you want? I was like, how's the barbecue chicken panini? And he was like, oh, pretty good. I was like, well, you guys got some noodles, right? Some noodles. He was like, the noodles.
He said, we know your kind around here.
Yeah, he started squinting at me. I started squinting back at him.
He's all pointing.
So my friend said, you know it's good here. the fried chicken and waffles.
He's like, it's world famous.
The guy who's working there, he's like, dude, everybody orders that. I was like, I don't want to be the one that orders that. Yeah. So I said it under my breath because I really wanted it. I was like, yo, let me get the chicken and waffles. He was like, what'd you say? I said, damn it. I want the fried chicken and waffles. He was like, say that again. I want the fried chicken and waffles, man. Get in the back there and stop making the fried chicken and waffles. So luckily, as soon as he arrived with my fried chicken and waffles, I turned my head and I saw a full-colored, full-bodied, able guy working in the kitchen. And all of a sudden, I felt okay again. That's all it took. I saw a black guy, and he wasn't like Obama mixed. He was like a black guy with like my kind of hair, you know. And I was like, okay, cool.
All his phalanges were working.
Everything was working fine. He had oily skin and everything. I was like, okay, all right, for sure.
Yeah, hairnet on?
Say it again?
You have a hairnet on?
Yeah, nah. They didn't have no form of protection over there. They didn't wear no doggone masks. They didn't wear no hairnets. They had 3 black people. And trust me, I was hanging out with a white friend. And I saw 2 black ladies there. And they was just like, oh, yaka.
What are you doing?
Yeah. They were like, what?
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So I'm not black if you didn't know. But I do love fried chicken. But, so no, to be serious. So in a situation like that, right? How should your white friend have acted?
Well, I'll tell you what. I think there's multiple ways to look at it. First off, I do recognize that they try to play it off. You know, even 10 minutes later, they were very like trying to like make little jokes about it and whatever.
And I think that there are some people who try to take that path of like, dude, it's no big deal. Keep it pushing and all that kind of stuff. And to be honest with you, that kind of thing hasn't happened to me in a while. I remember like maybe 2016, 2017, my former neighbor, his kid came up to me and like one time he like freaked out at me. And I was like, whoa, what's happening? And he turned to his dad full on and was just like, I wrote about it on my Facebook. He was like, he said something like, I'm scared of niggers, something like that. And I was like, damn, this is like a 2-year-old, 3-year-old kid that said that. And even then, it didn't hit me that hard. But this one situation, for some reason, I don't really know why. I just felt, whoa, you know? And so at the moment, what I did not really want was for my friend to just try and play it off and just be like, oh, no big deal, right? Because like,
you did want that or you didn't want that?
I did not want that.
Okay.
I'd rather they had just not say anything. But I think maybe it's because in my head, I was very like scared that it might get violent.
Right.
You know, because I don't know if y'all ever like talked to like were interested in somebody and then had to say like, I wonder if they like Mexican guys or I wonder if they like Indian guys. Have you ever thought that?
Probably.
Right. Hey, well, I don't know. For Chris, it's been forever. But have you ever thought that? Like, oh, I wonder if they like Mexican guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Like, that's like a constant thing that's always in my head. Like, but in every situation. Like, I wonder if they're okay with black people here. Or I wonder if they're interested in black people. Like, that always plays in my head. So when I go to this place, the first thing I did was try and find some black people to look at and feel like, okay, cool. Y'all here, I'm here, we're good. If anything happens, y'all got me, I got y'all, we're good. And then, but, you know, slowly, the more like comfortable you feel, the more you're like, okay, I don't need other people around me. Everybody here feels cool. But then you got a Toyota van guy come and yell at you. Then it's like, my eyes is looking all over the place for other black people. And if I can't find y'all, I'm scared now. Because it's like, you know.
So you're saying that even before the van situation, you already feeling like in any situation you go into, you're worried about them not being comfortable with you.
Oh yeah. Listen, if I'm not going to New York, South Florida, Georgia, California, Texas, some parts, I'm scared. Like, I'm not shaking in my boots scared, but I'm already like,
you're aware.
Yeah, I'm already like, I don't know what's about to happen here, right? I remember I went to Oklahoma City one time, and the guy who drove my car, like somebody paid for it, and it was a very nice car. As soon as I opened the door and there was an Indian guy, I was like, okay. You know, because in my head, I was like, I'm going to Oklahoma. I know they probably got 4 black people there. When I got there and that Indian guy opened my door, I was so relieved. I was like, whew, you're here, I'm here, I'm okay. Because he was like a dark-skinned Indian guy. And I felt super comfortable. And then once I got to the hotel, and then I saw a couple other black people, I saw a couple other Indian people, and he told me where everybody was, because Oklahoma City is like built in 4s. Mm-hmm. So it's like the Indian people live there, the white people live there, the black people live there, the Mexican people live there. Boom. So he was like, if you ever feel like you need to go somewhere, these are the places that you need to go. And once he told me that, I was like, cool. Because I'm not scared, but I just don't know. Like, I just don't know what to anticipate.
So do you feel, does it need to be other black people or just other minorities?
Listen, the key, the preferred would be a black person. However, if a black person is not available at the time, somebody else, a minority, like Indian person, or like I would say like a Filipino person, somebody like that. I'm like, okay, you're here, we're all good, you know. But there are some minorities that I don't. Not to say I don't feel comfortable around, but whenever I need that like quick validation of like, you're here, I'm here, sometimes it doesn't work. So that's why it's like another black person is good enough because another black person got the same thing going on in their head.
What if it's Candace Owens?
It don't matter.
So that's interesting because I don't know if you saw, there was an interview recently in the last few days with Mark Lamont Hill and some white lady. I forgot the lady's name, but she asked Mark Lamont Hill, "Do you feel like all white people are racist?" And his answer was yes. And so initially, obviously, there was a visceral reaction by maybe most people that aren't black, I would say. But then hearing you tell this story right now, it kind of seems like maybe you're not necessarily thinking that all white people are racist, but it seems like the default is assume that they are, and move accordingly based off of that.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. You don't want to move in a certain way where you're not prepared for whatever's coming your way. So what I mean by that is y'all got to prove to me if we good, right? Like, your stomping grounds, your territory. But I've been in enough places and enough situations like this where it's like, okay, I don't know who's here. And even coming from Florida where the more north you get, the more sus it gets. He knows. Yeah. So the more the more north you get, the more they're like, in the South, in South Florida, they'll ask you what hood you're from. In North Florida, they'll say, who let you around these parts? Right? They start the language, like they asking you the same question, but they asking it in a different way. So for me, it's like, it's not necessarily that I'm saying like, oh, everybody is, but I gotta act that way for my safety. Because I don't know who's who and who's doing what. Once I feel comfortable and I feel like y'all not gonna do nothing to me, then cool. I'll let you guys, I'll operate that way.
Do you feel like it's a race thing, or is it just because?
No, they're not calling me cutie.
Well, what I'm saying is, obviously, in that situation, the dude's a blatant racist, and I would understand why. Clearly, you're gonna be on your P's and Q's when. Is that blatant? You know what I mean?
Sure.
But so when taking it back to the Mark Lamont Hill thing, there was some, I guess you could say, popular black politicians that responded to Mark Lamont putting up this video of him answering the question that way, saying basically you're grouping in all white people together. What if that's like how white people say all black people are thugs and gangsters. And so when they go around black people, they tend to hold their wallets a little bit tighter, their purses a little bit tighter, like feeling like there's going to be a crime done to them by that. So would you say that's kind of the same thing?
I mean, I'm not upset about the comparison because here's the thing. If white people hang around the same group of black people for a while, and at first they're clutching their wallets and they're doing this and they're doing all that, just to find out after a month, after 2 months, after a year, after 5 years, ain't nothing happened to them. Guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna change with the times.
Right.
The reason why I'm still like on edge is because not everyone has changed with the times. Not everyone. We got to remember, white people are like 77% of the population.
Yeah.
So there are places that they got one.
Yeah.
Or they got one mixed family. Or they, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they just don't know how to react when somebody who looks like me comes into the city. So even though I'm comfortable here, I'm comfortable in certain places, I still got to be on my P's and Q's to make sure like, yo, ain't nothing about to happen to me because things can happen.
For sure.
People still out here doing the same thing. So I'm not going to be upset to say like, oh, y'all clutch your wallets and whatnot. Okay. After a while, when you realize that we ain't doing nothing to you, then you're good.
For sure. And I know like, we were talking about rural areas. When I was living in Vineland, I remember I was rooming with a friend. I was staying with a friend at the time. And we had, I think it was like New Year's or Christmas or something like that. One of those, I think it was New Year's, and we had like a New Year's party, and I invited my friend who happened to be a black girl, and she came, and we were the only two people of color at the party, right? And after she left or whatever, in a dramatic way, things got kind of weird with all the alcohol, all this kind of stuff. But she ended up leaving, and the things that I heard out of those guys' mouths about why she acted the way that she acted, or
how did she act?
So she got super drunk and was just getting like kind of, she's a little too much, I guess you could say. So, she started disrespecting maybe some of the people that were there. Felt like she was disrespecting some of the people there.
In what way? Like she was making fun of them, or?
I mean, just having an attitude, I guess I could say. I mean, I was kind of hazy. I was inebriated at the time as well. Okay. But I ended up getting an Uber to go home just because it was turning into drama. I think she got in a fight with one of the girls, something like that. Gosh, okay. Anyways, but
it wasn't like a racial thing.
Nah.
Oh, okay.
But then it turned into a racial thing.
Okay.
Right? Because then it was like, that's how these people just are. No. And I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? Like in my mind, I'm just like, because I think coming from California and, maybe even just being as assimilated as I am, just not really being right. It's like when you see it in your face and you're just like, whoa, I just thought this was in the movies, or I just thought this was like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, it's kind of, it's just, it's sad that it's out there to the point. And I think like you said, if you're so far removed from it, from being in places like California where, we're just
assimilated. And it happens here too, though. Yeah,
it does happen here, but I mean, I think it does happen here for sure. But in certain areas, like you said, it's a different type of racism. So when you're saying things like, I have to be worried for my life and things like that. Mm-hmm. Maybe some people are listening and be like, what are you talking about?
I know it sounds dramatic. Yeah. And I'm not necessarily saying like I'm tiptoeing everywhere, but I definitely have my P's and Q's on me. I just,
your like radar is on.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Your sonar, you're looking at.
Especially in those like little towns, like nobody really knows the name. Mm-hmm. Like if you going somewhere, I feel like black people, whenever they travel to places that normal black people don't normally go to or live at, more to say they don't live there, you're going to go to the biggest place. If you're going to go to Washington State, you're not going to go to blank little tiny city. You're going to go to Seattle, right? Hopefully someone at Starbucks can see what's happening if you get into a kerfuffle with somebody, right? You're not going to just go to just the little tiny towns. So normally you're doing that on purpose. You know what I'm saying? You're just making sure you're in the possible chance of another person who sort of looks like you is somewhat nearby.
Right.
Because man, as much as people put BLM in their bio, this, that, and the third, there still is that population of people who, like, the moment things get a little dicey, a little this, a little that, they turn right back into what they normally do.
For sure.
And look, it's annoying, and it doesn't mean that your life is on the line, but sometimes it feels like it is, and that's what it is. So either way, I'm gonna buy a gun.
You better while you can.
What you think, Joe Biden not gonna let us?
Man, they try to come after them guns.
I'm trying to go after them.
It's already hard enough in California to get a gun. You got to jump through all kinds of hoops.
Yeah, I was just trying to steal one.